Bang, bang.
Bong bong.
Oof.
I'm back, baby.
Hey, it's the A team back in business. Welcome everybody to the Bodycast on this fine Sunday. It's a beautiful day. My name is Copacetic, and with me,
Pathogenic.
bang, bang, very dangerous, very dangerous. And we are, of course, the best podcast for the international culture of Battlerap. You can find us on Reddit, Twitter, Reddit, Instagram, on some for more of them. We got more. It's the only place for fans to go for battle rap news from around the globe. And episode 60.
Just about put up the technical difficulties banner for a second there.
It's like at this point, just gravy. But yes, what a great show we have for you today. Just really a spectacular show. I'm really excited. Probably the best Battle Rap podcast episode that you will ever see. Maybe the best show you will ever see.
For the best fans that you'll ever meet.
Yeah, that's very true. Everybody watching, just extremely hyper competent, hyper capable, high functioning adult human being. Even if kids watch the show, boom, instantly adulthood.
Yeah. Makes them adults very quick.
You got to be careful, actually, who you show this to. It's it's a select few. Yeah. And
we have twitted confines.
Or twitty it. If you think that it's futile to fear, I agree with you. I think it is futile to fear.
Oh, I hope you're not looking for me to say something. I got nothing right now.
We all live on an unusual sphere. But if you want to take it up higher, join us now for the community cheers. Hey, unusual spheres.
My processing speed on that was a little too shitty there. I'm watching you and I'm like, I wonder where he's going with this next. Little do I know, you're looking for me to give you the next direction.
Always looking to you to save me. That was good. That was the intro in 3 minutes. So thanks, Mom.
Our best yet.
Definitely our most expeditious. Remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and click the like and subscribe button. Now that you're here, you're part of the community. Just engage with it. That's how the numbers work. I think that's a good thing. Let's get started in the good old U.S. of A. The republic. It's a republic, right? It's a republic.
I don't know what constitutes a republic.
And the republic for which it stands, I think, is a thing that they say.
Is it?
Yeah, so it's a republic and a democracy. It's a democratic republic.
Democratic Republic. Democratic Republic of the United States of America.
I think so. It's just a highly political geology. What's animals? Animalology. I think it's
zoology, which
zoology.
is my degree, actually.
They were like zoos. It's zoology. Where does zoo come from? Why don't you run it back? Let's just do some learning right now. What? Yo, because it's like originally guy was like, there are a bunch of animals in there. It's a fucking zoo. And like, oh, that's a cool name. That's what we're gonna call it. And then they were like, yeah, and you could even call the study of animals zoology. And they were like, wow, who is this guy? He's a genius.
That's just the way she works, I guess.
Oh, that wasn't how it went. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. We didn't learn that in class.
Yeah. What's the etymology of here? Anyways.
I don't think etymology is even anything.
So anyways, it's a fucking zoo. What were we talking about? America's a zoo. Yes. And we get to watch as that's how zoos operate. You pay a certain fee, and but the big thing to watch, obviously, in America right now is Gnome
Impact.
Gnome Impact happening this weekend, next weekend. on the 9th. It's a 2-day event, and it's the double impact part is 2-on-2 teams, and then recently it was just announced there's going to be a bunch of one-off battles on day 2 or day 1.
I believe, I think they're one rounders.
Exclusive one rounders. Yes, you are correct.
I think it's like what they did with Band, however long ago, where they sort of just did a whole one round card randomly out of the blue there. So I think it's kind of like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know how we feel about one rounders, just hate them. Don't watch them. Definitely don't click on any one rounders you see. No, I think it should be fun. I think the big news is obviously TheSaurus versus Holmzie the God. This would be TheSaurus's debut on URL, which is sort of, I don't want to say long time coming, but it was always a question mark why ILL-Mac and TheSaurus had never been on URL.
Yes. Yeah. So I would call it a long time coming. I think that it's just one of those finally moments, right? We're talking about a career for Saurus that has pretty much everything. So it's kind of unique to see a first for him. You know what I mean? I think that's what the draw is when you've got a guy who's done everything. If he's not done something, it's a draw. So
yeah, it's interesting. You wonder. I mean, I think that the obvious question is what was the holdup? What was what took so long? And if that was based in like a fear of him being able to connect with the audience, or him, hurting the image of the URL, or what, I can't even begin to describe. I'm sure many fans will speculate. But what was the holdup? And is that legitimate, or does he come through and just turn URL into something else?
And then the additional question that comes up is where does this lead to? Does this lead to another URL plate? Or is this like a one-time thing? I know that him and Twerk have talked a long time about battling one another. And so maybe this is the stepping stone that leads to that, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
because it's very true. When you think about this conversation and his legacy in the Battlerap community, the URL battlers all understand his impact and they have great respect for it. So there's never been an issue between the artists.
My fucking internet again.
Oh man,
I'm back.
Move out the sticks, man.
Jesus. It's gonna fucking set me off. I'll be so angry.
Oh shit! Watch out. He's on a warpath. Let's go. So pretty cool. You got Chef Trez versus Jackboy Main. Very interesting. JC versus EK. That's dope. Chess versus Mac Myron. Like pretty dope little fucking one rounders.
Yeah.
Honestly,
that's also why it reminds me so much of the band one rounders that they did, because those were also a lot of really good matchups. So good. A lot of people were saying some of these need to be 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of look at in this one also. These are some that could lead to 3 rounders down the line because they could be so good. So
definitely cool to draw new names in and how they have to do to keep the talent fresh is you're going to see some debuts, you're going to see some new faces, and the big question, obviously with this huge announcement and everything surrounding Gnome was what is the URL's business model going to be going forward? Are we doing app exclusive stuff? Are we doing caffeine? Do we got to pay for caffeine subscriptions? What are they doing with their millions of YouTube followers? I think that's a big question everybody's wondering is, what is their business model going forward?
Yeah, everything kind of seemed to get a little gray there. Still is a little gray, but it looked like it was very concise, and now it's very murky.
Yeah, it looked like they had a system, and then obviously that wasn't working, or they were just bleeding money, which was the rumor. and yeah, now it's, I mean, in some ways it's sort of like the door is open for them to do whatever they want. But I think, yeah, fans are looking for consistency. Fans are looking for something where they have regular, easy access to the content they want. And yeah, so, very interesting what kind of partnerships may go forward. That being said, speaking of TheSaurus being on URL, it was mentioned in the tweet that they thanked King of the Dot. So I thought that was interesting as well.
Yeah. It's cool to see the relationship still there since Stay Forever. So.
Exactly. Yeah, and I remember at Stay Forever, I was speaking to Ganik about that, and he and Smack obviously maybe are some of the two most experienced people in the culture, and not like in that they've been around for a long time, but their experiences are similar too, in being the heads of the major English speaking battle rap leagues for over a decade. So there's a lot of empathy, there's a lot of common ground there. People might not think that there is, but there is. Should be cool going forward. Definitely, there's a lot of controversy. RBE, obviously, and Easy's card. Easy's card happened this weekend. Apparently, went down was
yesterday.
Really well. Yeah,
very, very well.
But Danny Myers had to pull out last minute again because of a conflict with URL. They didn't want him battling on that card, and they were gonna axe his opportunities if he proceeded to. So
yeah, I believe it was directly linked to Gnome Impact because he's battling on that, and so I think it would have been, it's that or this kind of situation.
Right. Yeah, you don't want an overworked Danny Myers. That's definitely a valid concern.
Truth.
But it does always and more often these days, I find, bring up the question of a union. Should battle rappers start their own union? And I know that Quest McCody was talking a lot about this, but what are your thoughts before I scroll through the fucking Reddit here?
I don't know, man. that's my thoughts. I don't really know. I guess it's just unknown territory, and so I don't really know what would result from it. Does that end up putting too much power in the battlers' hands? Does it end up putting too much power in the league owners' or the unions' hand? Like, I don't know what it would result in, how it would shift the scope of how work gets done.
Unions are not historically, I want to say, they're extremely valuable for the performer, but they're not immune to corruption as well. And then you've got a lot of problems where you're trying to find consistency and you're trying to find equality, basically. You want the artists to feel protected, and definitely out here these days, it's your contract killers, and there are no rules. It's the dark web. It's the sign one contract and break another with the other hand. So it should be interesting to see where it goes. Obviously, there'd be I think the union's rules would have to be by country. I imagine. I don't know, but I thought about it honestly for Canadian battle rap too. You think about like we're not at that stage. I think we're still obviously at the building stage, and I think America is too. But America's the closest. There's leagues in fucking every town in America, and they all have performers. Like it's getting to be crazy. So, anywho, speaking of Canada, let's just crawl back up to Canada. We're going up north, taking a train, trains, planes, automobiles, and yeah, boy, there was so much that happened last week. We talked about in Canada, but no real new announcements this week. What am I thinking of? But we had some battles drop. Yeah.
Yeah, Arcane and Saga from
Right.
Stay Forever,
Right.
which was cool to see the return of Arcane since he battled Ellipsis on Heart to Heart, and
Right.
almost kind of bringing him back into the fold for a couple more possibly that you might end up seeing. We're going to see him in G Show in a couple weeks, so that's cool to see Arcane back in the fold.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge. And we talked about it last week is a little bit that it's he's really competent. He's somebody who can really step into the ring and do the things that you need to do um, to have a good performance and bring that level of prestige to the league. So it's really dope to see him back in the fold and active again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, G Show in a couple weeks versus Arcane. It's going to be crazy. He had a good, I felt like a warm up battle versus Saga. The thing too is about all these Pat Stay battles is I take them all with like a grain of salt because these artists did it. Some of them on very short notice, but it's all like short notice when you consider the way that like a lot of these artists were really deeply impacted by Pat and his passing. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's something where for some guys it's motivating. I'm sure for everybody it's motivating, but you can understand why anybody would have any difficulty or trouble preparing properly for that kind of an emotional event, and that maybe a few months away, maybe some more time to process. Um, we'll see the real. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I think I know what you're talking about, but yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, we'll start to see the momentum from that event as opposed to being in the wake of it. It is
Yes.
It's really exciting to see what's happening with Canadian Battlerap. Wise Guy versus Comp just dropped on CRB. They also dropped A1 versus Teddy KGB.
Yep.
Which I'm looking forward to checking that out. I haven't seen that yet.
It was not. It was pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
KGB is their former champ, right?
No, former number one contender. Him and Raiden Black battled for the vacant belt after Porridge left.
Okay.
Yes.
So he's up there on the CRB roster.
Yep. Yes. Yeah, very much so.
Cool. Who do you think took that battle? What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I thought that A1 beat Teddy.
Sure.
That was my thought. I think that it was very different styles against one another. Teddy being a lot more comical, but I feel like A1 outrode him and also just hit a little bit more on the points of I'm trying to beat you and send a message. And Teddy kind of took a weird approach in his third, more so like shitting on and battling against Beast Mode as a league itself, which kind of strange considering the time that we're in with Canadian Battlerap, where it seems like all these leagues are working together. So it just seemed out of place and a little strange. So I gave it to A1.
Yeah, fair enough. Got to pick your angles.
Yeah,
because you live and die by them.
Yes.
So speaking of angles, Wildcard versus Final Word dropped, and boy, I'm like a big fan of both these guys. Obviously, watching Final Word claw his way up from the bottom of these cards with good material and good performances. I feel like Mike Wild is a look for him, and it was a good look and it was a good battle. You watched that one?
Yeah, I saw it. I've actually I saw it twice. I rewatched it not too long ago.
Damn.
Yeah. So
replay value.
I think that this was also two very different styles battling one another.
Sure. Yeah.
With Mike, I'm sure that he would consider himself to be a more puncher, and I think that Final Word is much more angle character assassination based.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm being honest, I think that Mike was a little too heavy on the name flips. It
He
seemed
was
like
kind
it
of.
was name flips only almost throughout all 3 rounds. And so by the midpoint of the second round, I was like, you can make a double entendre about his name, but give me something else.
Right. Yeah.
Set up another name flip, but give me a break in between them so that I can properly react to them, because they were all very good. They were all crazy. The
Yeah.
crowd was reacting to them, right? They
Totally.
were great punches, but it was just a little too heavy on the sauce on the
I,
one side.
I agree with you, and also it doesn't hurt that final word called it out. Like I think in his first round.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Yep, it did hurt it, because that also gets it into the viewer's brain, right? When Final Word says, "Do all your little name flips," then, and Mike rolls in with 3 rounds of only name flips. I was like,
Yeah. Hits the nail
yikes!
on the head.
But
It takes steam
it,
away.
it
Sorry. Go
was
ahead.
a great battle on both of their from both of them. They both did their thing. I just think that it was it's one that Mike can learn from, in my opinion, right? He went out to Toronto first time on beast mode against a guy that they view really highly and that is very good, and he had a great performance. I just think it's one that he can learn from, and he's going to need it for So Severe when he battles him on
Yeah.
Heat Wave, because So Severe is an animal.
Yeah, and sort of a different tack there as well because Final Word more of an angler, more of a comedy-based guy, and so Zavir very much a performer, very much it's going to bark on him.
Yeah.
Um, I had the same thoughts as you about Mike Wild being too name flip heavy, um, and I think he balanced it out maybe in the second half of the battle a little bit more, but that was definitely something that I
Yes.
noticed.
The third
Um,
round more so, yeah.
but I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. Do you have a final word winning the battle? Because he said a bunch of shit about Jesse and Smoked Out that I thought was
No, no,
like,
no.
yeah, I
No,
thought,
I
okay,
don't I don't have final word winning.
yeah,
I the only reason that I said what I said was specifically because I want to see Mike elevate even further,
yeah,
and that's what I think is the next step for him to take it to the next level, I guess, would be
right,
to layer it in there, build the anticipation and the hype, and then dropping a name flip that also connects to a point that
yeah, yeah.
trying to make, instead of just doing it for the sake of the double entendre, I guess.
That's very true.
Um,
That's exactly it.
I think that final words, well, like the whole round about Smoked Out and Jesse, I thought it made no sense.
I couldn't get it. I couldn't get behind it.
The reason that I think it made no sense was because Mike wasn't ever really a part of Smoked Out to begin with. Mike Wild.
Mike Wild, right?
Yeah. So
That's true. Wow, I didn't even think about
so
that. He was
it
barely on
actually
Smoked Out.
has no bearing on Mike Wild as a battler, because he wasn't there for it. He was a part of King of the Dot Vancouver and the West Side, and then left. And the entirety of Smoked Out as a league happened before he came back, pretty much.
Yeah,
And it
and
was
then
done by the time he came back. So he wasn't a part of it. He had nothing to do with it. So I think it's a really weird angle for someone to be like, "Oh, your league started because another league had some issues happen, and so you're the cause of it, and so like you deserve to be looked at differently because of." It really made
tough
no sense,
sell.
right? I mean, the biggest thing about it is like, people do bad things, but how are you supposed to know everything beforehand? You know what I mean? Like Ted
Yeah,
Bundy had friends, I'm sure.
guilty by association.
Uh, I guess so, but yeah, no, that round really made no sense to me, because I was like, if that round was against a guy like me, I guess, being the last smoked out champ, then there's weight towards it.
You can fabricate something with
Yes,
those
yeah,
pieces,
100%.
and nobody cares how true that is. I mean, it's battle rap, so it's silly and nobody, but like,
Yeah,
yeah, I totally didn't even realize you hit the nail on the head. He was never a part of that. He wasn't
no,
even part of the part of that wasn't a part of that.
yeah.
Like,
So really, it kind of made no sense to me. I
yeah,
was like, that's a great angle for somebody else, and should have been tucked in your pocket for somebody else, because it really has nothing to do with Mike. But I mean, the other thing too is, when it comes to smoked out and beast mode both being leagues, there is a lot of there always had been a lot of weirdness between those two leagues. And so the fuck smoked out angle is a guaranteed hit when you go there. It's kind of like how a fuck smoked out angle is a guaranteed hit on Set the Bar.
right. That's true.
So
You can
I
fuck set
can
the
see.
bar angles and set the bar. I mean,
Yeah,
think whatever.
but I like that'd be, if I was a betting man, that's my bet as to why that angle was used, is because that's
Right,
a guaranteed hit over there. And but there really isn't any bearing on Mike Wild as a
right,
person or battler. He
right.
was retired the whole time.
Facts.
It
Yeah,
retired before it was started and came back after it was done. So, and me, when I watch battles, I put those variables in if I'm trying to pick a winner, when I think of like, okay, well, how does that impact him, that has nothing to do with him, so it's all void. Basically, that's
right.
how I look at it. So,
Yeah, yeah. Doesn't hit.
yeah.
Shouts out to Mike Wild in his coming out of retirement. Just been on a you know blazing a trail,
Hmm.
and taking on all comers. Doing a lot of work with Set the Bar. Check them out. His upcoming battle versus So Severe is going to be his first American since his return, and I
Yeah.
think that that's really good for him too. Is to start seeing different types of people. He's battled most of us in Vancouver, so So
Yeah, and
Severe's
I think
great.
it's time for him to get that next step in competition when it comes to, people coming back. Pepe was on that level, in my opinion, right? When you've got Pepe coming out, you've got somebody that's at that next echelon. And now you've got So Severe coming over. That's someone who's again at that next echelon. So
Mhm.
this is the necessary steps that he needs to be making. And he's doing it in the right order, right? Getting that next step on your own league, and then taking that next step by going and rocking a crowd somewhere else, and then getting an even bigger challenge the next time on your home league. I think that's the right way to do it.
Mhm.
Right? You are not good until you can do what you do everywhere. Doesn't matter how good you are on your home league, until you can do that somewhere else, doesn't matter.
World of difference.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
think that Mike's taking the appropriate steps, and in doing that. So,
yeah. I'm stoked for him. Really, really fun card. A couple weeks away, like you said. Go check them out. Follow them on all social media. Um, and then yeah. So to wrap up Canada, something we missed last week. Can you believe we missed a thing? Shocking. I don't know who was running that episode, but they've been fired, summarily replaced immediately. And and yeah, the biggest announcement I think for Canada recently is um, pathogenic versus archaic, or just
yeah.
arc now,
Yeah. Yeah.
for the huge, massive Shoddy versus Twerk event in the UK, Premier Battles, plug three.
Plug 4.
Plug four. Plug
Yeah.
four. Shut my mouth. Plug four goddamn, what an absolute blessing from the Canadian battle rap gods to give us this few months down the road now. Like it's going to be end of summer, early fall.
It's middle of November.
Oh shit, Jesus,
Yeah.
fuck me, almost in winter.
Yeah.
I'm really well prepared. But I think that most people offer it thinking this is just a great energy match, great performers, great writers. Really excited to see some Canadian representation on this huge card. The way that people are talking about it in the UK, it's just like an all-star lineup. It's just going to be a massive, monumental event to really reestablish all the work and what's the word I'm looking for? Congeal. Yeah, bring everything together that Premier has been working on for the past 2 years into a big special spectacular event. You're in there.
Yeah, I'm a part of it.
You're in there.
Yeah.
So what's the deal? Like it's ARC. It's like what are your immediate thoughts? What's your whole game plan? What's your strategy?
ARC is one of my favorites of all time. When people talk about like who's your, if you have anyone that you could battle, like a bucket list battler, ARC is one of mine.
Oh shit.
I think that he's at the same level as Tony D in my opinion, because he's been the only one that can say that they've been battling for almost as long as Tony. I mean, ARC was a part of the jump off WRCs. Him and were in New York, and he was in the finals before Possessed and what's his face went over to battle TheSaurus and Ilmac, right? Like it was Possessed and what's his face and ARC, and I can't for the life of me remember his partner's name, but they were the ones that were deciding who it was that was going to go battle for the 50,000 for that. So like he's been around for all of it. He's been in like every era of UK battle rap. He's been a part of it. He's been there and doing something for it. And so, he's one of those guys that it's like, wow, that's who I want to battle.
Right.
And
you battle him.
Yeah, he's also one of those guys that he's only he primarily takes battles if he's got something that he can say to somebody. Right? And I mean, obviously there's some things about me that people like to talk about, but he's someone that I'm excited to hear what they have to say about me. And that's kind of what I look for when I do battles is I want to be standing there like a fan when my opponent is rapping and being like, that was crazy. So I think that that's it's just going to be a great battle. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Tons of respect.
I learned a lot from last time that I was over in the UK about kind of what works and what doesn't work. And yeah, I've got a lot of really, really good ideas and stuff. So
yeah, I definitely think you can see a progression from your battles since visual. And, I think the UK crowd is really going to respond to that. I'm excited for that. But yeah, like, on a historical level, you get to, make your dent in battle rap history with those kinds of matches. And, and beyond that, what I love is the respect. You're taking battles with guys who you care about, who you think are fucking dope, and it just creates a great outcome, creates a great quality product. When you have that respect between combatants. So
yeah, and it's one of those things where like everything lines up in a weird way, like for a reason. The last place that Pat battled in the UK was at the Steelyard for Summer Madness 8. And so it's kind of cool that after being on Stay Forever, the next time I'm in the UK is going to be in the Steelyard. So
you and Pat Stay also have the same first 3 letters of your name. Battle Rap Illuminati. It's real shit. It's wild. It's
No,
wild.
but it's cool because it gives me another opportunity to, just remember him and yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Yeah. Um, yeah. Fucking rest in peace. The legend absolutely lives on inside us. And I think that's right. Yeah. This is an opportunity for that. But, I mean, it's just going to be a great time. If you're in
Yeah.
the England area.
And I think people they've talked to me about why they would announce it so early, but I think it's because I've already seen a lot of people after Shoddy and Twerk was announced that are saying like, yeah, we want to fly to England from North America to see this, and so it gives the appropriate amount of time for somebody to figure out how to do that. And so I think it's cool. I mean, almost the whole card is announced, right? Shoddy and Twerk, Bizzo and Lou, Rivers and Holmzie, and me and Ark, and I think there's only 2 other battles.
Oh shit.
So
Damn, man. Sneaks up on you.
yeah, so it's really cool. It's special to be a part of this card, and so salute to Briggsy and Trubs and Stro, all the staff. I love those guys.
All the PB guys, keep an eye out for those last 2 announcements. Follow them on Twitter, Instagram, all that shit.
And make sure that you clip this next bit that I say because it's very important, and share it. But Briggsy, you won't be getting your jacket back, man. That's my jacket now. So
that's a man's jacket. Left it at home. Sorry. Yeah, lots going on with the UK. Obviously, there's we're talking about all the momentum that Premier has.
I will interrupt you quickly and say salute to Scoop and Ark that dropped today. Ark didn't necessarily have the cleanest performance, and he was pretty upset with himself about that. But I don't know if he's going to have another battle in between then and ours. But if I'm the guy that gets to battle Ark after he's upset with himself over something, I'm going to be in for a long night. So yeah,
good heated contest. Yeah, check that out. Premier Battles YouTube. They had another drop this week too, or last week I think it was Raptor and Hulk.
Yes.
So check that out. Hulk, friend of the show, was on the very first episode of the Bodycast. So definitely check that out. And yeah, just, a lot of stuff happening in the UK. Something I think worth noting is, we're on Battlerap Twitter a lot. I happen to notice that friend of the show, Slim Buck, has moved himself from Nigeria as a mainstay of the word on the streets Battlerap League in Lagos and Abuja to Birmingham. Ooh, it was so close.
Birmingham.
Is it Birmingham?
Birmingham?
What do they say? Birmingham.
Birmingham.
They turn it all into one syllable, Oh, you're going to Birmingham. Oh, have you been to Sandringham? Yes. Quite. I'm in Oxford.
I think that's a little too posh for Birmingham.
Birmingham. Liverpool. No, it doesn't work. But yes, Birmingham is, you have to check the map, geographically speaking. Boo! Right in the middle. Boo!
Yeah, right in between London and Manchester.
Whoops. You remember that? Chips Ahoy boy? Are you too young for that?
Pillsbury Doughboy.
The Pillsbury Doughboy is the hee. And then there was the Chips Ahoy boy, and he'd go, whoops.
I don't remember that.
So the Chips Ahoy boy was this little rainbow boy, and he would come along and he would touch the chocolate chips in the cookies, and they would turn into rainbows. So he had this commercial where the little chocolate chip rainbow boy, Chips Ahoy boy, he would go and he would touch things, and they would turn into rainbows, and everybody would get mad at him for, hey, what are you making these things rainbows? And he would touch a chair and he'd go, whoops. Anyways.
Now the Chips Ahoy Rainbow Boy is hired on by every company for Pride Month to touch everything.
Very busy. Chips Ahoy Boy just absolutely, his Chips Ahoy children It's slave labor. It's really bad for Pride Month. Just whoops everywhere. But
Don't take
such
that
as
the wrong way, though. Happy Pride Month,
Happy
everybody.
Pride Month, everybody.
Yeah.
All of the uh, letters. And yeah, so I mean, I think this is huge personally because if you wanted to see approximately Africa and England, if people don't know, relatively not very far away from each other. Relatively speaking, it's closer than over across the Atlantic Ocean, and we expected to see more cross pollination, more cultural diffusion.
Conglomeration.
Yes, yes, to do this. This is my this is my action for that. Um, and just excited to see what the possibilities are because here is somebody who's really well established in Nigeria, and now they get to battle a whole entirely different roster is open to them. And Slimbuck is fucking great. Like he raps, he punches, he's a great performer. He can do all the things. So it's not like you're getting, you know, Johnny Two Guns and with his two battles and they're both online and they suck. Like this guy's really good and it'd be interesting to see. This will be the first comparison of like, oh when he battles, it's not just Slim Buck in the UK. It's like how is the African development system? How are these guys being trained and built up to a point where they can perform in front of every audience? Like you were just saying, you got to battle away from your home crowd. So it's a lot of responsibility. No
Yeah.
pressure.
And if I was, for you, it's boy howdy, and for me, it's if I was a betting man. I would say that
That's
I
awesome.
would say that it's, without jinxing it, most likely going to be at the same level as seeing 1 a.m. When him and Elistine battled. I think that Slim Buck is the perfect representative to show up and have one of those wow performances because people might not be used to seeing someone from that area perform as well as him.
Totally agree. And you really don't know too, because you watch the African stuff, and to be an outsider, it's even it's similar to the UK scene where there's just going to be a lot of stuff that goes over your head. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't know how good it is because maybe there's another entendre that you don't know that's a local colloquialism. Colloquialism. No, it doesn't work. Or some subtext, some context. There's all sorts of stuff. He's got to now cater his material towards this UK crowd. And yeah, I think that's a really good call. The 1 a.m. battle versus LSD is sort of like where you set the bar. And that's a great bar to set. So very interesting, very exciting stuff happening there. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see more African battlers make the journey,
Mm-hmm.
make the trek. But yeah, anything else going on in the UK? Oh, what was it? Unanimous is going to be on that Scottish card.
Yes, yeah, that was just announced, which is pretty fire considering him and Mackenzie just battled 2 weekends ago.
Not long.
Not too long, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see him. Salute to Unanimous, man, for turning things around. Like in his life too. He's sober. He's been sober for the last little while, and it's really turning things around. I mean, it's kind of bringing him back into the scene after Bizzo, after like, it's great. It's healthier when he's in it, and it's even healthier when he's in it and he's healthy. So
Yeah, facts. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And by all accounts, his most recent performance, another amazing 3 rounds, and that's what we're getting from him is really top quality. Like when you talk about top tiers in the UK and people who can operate at that high level in a well-rounded way, Unanimous is fucking right up there.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, really, really happy to see him healthy and contributing to the UK battle scene. the way that we know he can.
Yeah, and
Facts.
match day 3 yesterday also. Salute to that, and I think the decisions were all came out from there also. So I think I can't remember who it was Rivers and Gemini, and Gem taking that, and then it was I just had it in my brain.
Are there any
Tony D and Moke?
Right.
Tony D taking that one as well with an absolutely amazing performance from what I heard. Tony wrote ahead of time and said that it was going to be crazy because his stuff was really good because he had so much time to prepare that he had given himself. And from everything I've seen, it was unreal.
Holy shit.
Yes. Tech beat Villain, and Frost beat Kingsley. Yes. We're happy. We're getting some Mandrill points on the board.
Hey, the mob is the best. What can I say? We're undefeated. I don't think we lost once this season. So I bet we haven't lost. Anyways, did your team play at all, or
no? They did not.
Didn't have any games this time.
Didn't have any games. Isn't it crazy when you can have a couple weeks without any games and still be in first place? Shark City, baby.
Yeah, the universe has a way of balancing things out. Water League. Something in my.
I thought you were going to say because Ark is Mandrill Mob and I'm battling him.
That's shit! That's great too. Hey, universe, however you want to balance things, love it. Yeah, it's exciting time for battle rap in the world now that the pandemic is over and all the restrictions are lifted. I want to say briefly, Sober versus Salt was released in New Zealand's One Outs Battle Rap League, and they dropped the compliment battle. It's just a little one rounder there, but both those guys are really dope. Sober and Salt. Sober spelled SOBR. And then they just dropped another one from their lockdown event, JFX versus Tech, which I haven't seen yet, but I know both those guys are dope.
Yeah, I saw the first rounds of each yesterday. And then I forgot that I was supposed to be doing something else, and I did that instead, and then forgot to go back and rewatch it. So
it happens. But yeah, just really love what they're doing down there in the Southern Hemisphere. The event in Hobart apparently went really well. Dundee versus Greeley is also out right away. Quick turnaround on that one. So that's on YouTube on the THC channel, Greeley THC, I believe it is. You can find it. But yeah, just great stuff happening in the Southern Hemisphere over there. So definitely keep an eye out for them. We're going to be keeping an eye out on everything here. Next weekend is Gnome Impact. That's about it. I don't think anybody wanted to run events at the same time as that. So shouts out to Verse Tracker for the events calendar. You can always find them taking care of the battle rap community as they do on the Verse Tracker site, versetracker.com. Mm-hmm. That's all for this week. Remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and click the subscribe button everywhere if you want.
No, you should.
Okay.
No, you should. No, you should. No, you should. Like and subscribe. You should do it.
I would listen to it.
Fucking do it.
We will be here back. We will be here back next week. We will be, and to talk about all the other things that have happened and the drama, and the fun and excitement and announcements. Yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys soon. Pat, you want to take us out?
Yes.